We filed a complaint for discrimination against the University of Vermont because they were compelling nurses who had religious objections to abortions and forced their participation. It was forced coercion in abortion procedures. And we filed a complaint with not only with the university, but also with the federal government, Health and Human Services. This is a copy of the complaint. I'm holding it in my hands right now. What's redacted is the name of the nurses. We're not going to disclose that right now. But I have a big announcement, and that is today, this morning, the Department of Health and Human Services issued an order in our favor against the University of Vermont. This could cost the University of Vermont $500,000 a year in federal funding. They are compelling coerced, forced abortion procedures.
These were elective abortions. So they could have absolutely scheduled nurses that do not have an objection to performing abortions. And they did not. They intentionally scheduled the nurses that had an objection that was registered with the hospital. They scheduled those nurses that they knew morally objected to abortion to participate. And sometimes they would not tell them until they walked into the operating room.
For the first time that we know of, HHS has issued an order that will suspend federal funding to a hospital that forced its nurses against their religious and conscience objections from performing abortion procedures. And as Cece just mentioned, that was made even worse by the fact that they had a situation where they had others available that could have actually done this.
This isn't just, we made a mistake or we didn't know, or we didn't have anybody else available. This is they intentionally did it. They wanted to violate these nurses who have a moral objection to killing a baby. They wanted to force them to have to participate.
The University of Vermont Medical Center was found to have forced the nurse to assist in an abortion against her will and moral and religious objection. The nurse was not told the procedure was an abortion until she walked into the room. I mean, think about that.
Yep.
That they knew that she objected to abortions. This is all found by HHS. Now they have 30 days to either comply with HHS or lose all federal funding in the future. Look at what HHS can do. President Trump's Health and Human Services can do for the pro-life movement by taking the orders, using existing law, and actually enforcing it. And you know what? We've learned previous administrations of the past, they had these laws on the books. They didn't enforce them. It didn't matter if they were Republican or Democrat.
Yep.
They didn't enforce them. And what we found here is that it wasn't just our client who was brave enough to take this complaint to HHS and their Office of Civil Rights. There were a number of nurses HHS identified. So think about how many around the country are being forced against their will and against the law to perform abortion procedures.